It's a great way to use leftovers. It's light, it's airy, it's easy to make, and it's delicious. That's right, we're gonna make a sandwich for lunch using some leftover pizza dough. This is my sourdough, New York style pizza dough, which we'll get into a little bit later. And this is called Panuozzo in Italian, which means empty bread. And I'm gonna cook it in my Ooni Pro pizza oven, but you could do this in any kind of pizza oven, doesn't really matter. Let me show you how I got this set up. And this oven is still coming up to temp. I wanna get it up around 500, maybe 600 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you look in the back, I'm just using some briquette charcoal. I don't want anything crazy today. We don't need high flames. Actually, we want very low flames because we're kind of baking bread instead of pizza. So that's my setup. While this is coming up to temp, let's work on the toppings for this sandwich. And we're gonna start with a marinated salad here today. So I'm just using some leaf lettuce, but you could use romaine. Just grab yourself a big handful and give it a nice rough chop. And then I'm gonna take one of my favorites, which is artichokes. Another big handful. I'm not measuring anything here today. You put in as much or as little as you like. So again, a little rough chop on these artichokes. Get them into some bite-sized pieces. And then I'm gonna dice up some tomatoes. When tomatoes are out of season, I always go for the smaller tomatoes. They seem to be juicier and have more flavor. So grab yourself some cherry tomatoes or just really whatever looks good. But we'll get these into a small dice as well. Season it generously with some salt and pepper. And some crushed red pepper flakes for a little bit of heat. And this is optional if you like onion, but I'm going to go for some thin cut red onion. Love the flavor of that in a salad. And then for the marinade, it's real simple. A little bit of red wine vinegar and a little bit of olive oil, just enough to coat it. Finish it off with some fresh grated parmesan cheese. And then give it a real nice mix, and then let it sit in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes to marinate. Then you can put it on your finished sandwich. All right, so here is one of my leftover sourdough pizza balls. The way I made this dough is I used my sourdough starter here. So go down to the description box of this video for all of the exact amounts and a little bit more detail. But this is my starter, and we're gonna use this instead of yeast. So what you wanna do is mix it into room temperature water. You want to get it completely dissolved before we move on to the next step. And it doesn't take much, just a couple of stirs. And for the rest of the ingredients, I have some Caputo 00 Americana Flour. This is one of my favorites for New York style. I'm also using some semolina. This is the real fine grind semolina. It's usually used to make pasta, but if you put it in pizza dough, it's going to make it nice and crunchy, which is something we really like. A tiny bit of Diastatic Malt. It gives it a nice dark color. And then some sea salt here. This is about 19 grams, but again, go down to the description. And we're gonna pour that wet mixture now into the dry. And what I like to do is add my olive oil just before the dough ball starts to form. So you'll see me lightly pour it in here at a slow pace. And then what we'll do is we want that dough to climb up the dough hook. I don't want to do the whole thing in here. The dough hook can be destructive to the dough ball. So I'll finish it off on the countertop. It's really easy to do. Just take your rough mix here, form it into a cylinder, and then make it perpendicular to yourself. Start at the end, push away, and pull back towards you. Push away, pull back towards you till it rolls up, and then you start that process over again. And notice I'm trying to get all that salt and stuff that didn't mix the first time, so we get it all in the mixture. And I'll do this for 5 minutes straight. Then what I'll do, I'll put it in a bowl to rest for about 20 minutes, just like this. And then I'll come back and stretch it 2 or 3 more times. Then we can put it in a oiled bowl. You'll see here I got a little bit of oil in the bottom so it doesn't stick. I've got some saran wrap, and then I'll put a towel over it. What you want to do here is let it double in size. This could take anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. Then divide out your dough into 4 portions. I fold the corners in on themselves to help form the ball. And basically you do this till you can't fold them anymore. Flip it over, and then I'll use the countertop to roll it and get a nice tight dough stretch. Nice perfect little dough ball. These will go into a container, and they will sit in the refrigerator for up to 3 days, and we're ready to go. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, just get a little bit of semolina down on my board. Take this guy. Now this is 311 grams. So what I'm gonna do is cut this in half, approximately. This will give us 2 sandwiches. And then what we're gonna do is we wanna make this into an oblong shape. All right, so just start to press down. So instead of a circle, we're gonna stretch it long. Don't be afraid to pick it up and stretch it. I just took this out of the refrigerator, so it's still kind of cold and wants to pull back on me, but like I said, no big deal. So that's one done. I'll do this other one. And let's see how we're doing on that temp. 500 degrees, 600 degrees is fine. Let's see. Sitting right about 570 at the mouth of the oven, which is where we want to cook these. So just get these on our peel. And then right into the oven. I'm gonna close this door for about 2 minutes, and then we'll check and see how they're looking. All right, 2 minutes. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, mama. Look at that. Starting to puff up real nice. Like I said, we are not trying to get these too toasted yet, because we will put them back in. What I'm doing here is just trying to rotate. Look at that. Just so they get a little bit more even cooking. All right, close this up, maybe for another minute. Here we go, about 3 minutes total. We can definitely take this guy out. Get him over here. And same with our little friend over here. Yummo, here we go. All right, so these are gonna be very hot on the inside, so be careful. Traditionally, they cut these open with scissors and they'll leave a hinge. So find your straightest edge, make that your hinge side. And just to get it started and to release some steam, I'm gonna go with my good knife. There we go. And come in with my scissors. And these are not pizza scissors, just regular old pair of scissors. Do this so you can see. That steam's starting to come out. Okay, so I came with the scissors just to both of these edges. And now watch this magic. It's almost like a pita pocket. Oh, and I can smell that sourdough. So just give it one little cut here to make it a little easier. There we go. So this will be sandwich number 1. I'm gonna do the same thing with this guy. So now you can put in whatever you like. I'm going some provolone cheese, some of that good Genoa salami. And then I'm gonna break up a piece of ham. A little freshly grated parmesan on this side. Okay, and I'm just gonna put this back in the oven for about a minute. Let that cheese melt, let the meat heat up a little bit. And then also, we're gonna crisp up the bread on the inside a little. This way, when we put in that marinated salad, it's not gonna make it too soggy. So we'll just give it a minute. We'll be ready to go. All right, I am hungry. Grab a big scoop of that awesome topping. Listen to that crunch. Ooh, that's awesome. All right, just cut it up so it's a little easier to eat. Listen to that crunch, baby. Woo! I am super pumped about this. Let me get a bite. Here we go. That crunchy sourdough pizza bread. All the flavors in there. Oh man. And the texture. Crunchy on the outside, soft on the inside, full of flavor. This would be great with a glass of wine. And hey, if you like this video, definitely check out one of those two right there. And I'll see you over there.